will take 3 minutes to explain to you the importance and dynamics of communication. I will also provide an example of the skills you need to succeed in the workplace. Interpersonal communication is complicated. The 7-step process simplifies it, but each step in itself remains complex. It starts with the manager, the sender. They develop the message or the idea. The sender encodes the message to be sent through a channel. The effectiveness of this message is influenced by the sender's attributes. The message is sent through a medium, such as speaking or writing in an email, to the receiver. The receiver will decode the message and return another message back to the sender as feedback. This process is very sensitive to noise. At any of these 7 steps, noise can cause distortions and cause a breakdown, such as inattention by the receiver, background sounds, and language barriers. So it's really important for a manager to understand this process to be able to decipher and prevent distortions and barriers for themselves and their employees. For example, a manager must understand the attributes of the employees to understand which medium would be best to send their message. About 20% of a message is translated verbally and about 80% non-verbally. Holy moly, that means essentially we could not speak a word and still communicate. In the workplace, it is important to speak and present ourselves professionally with our emotions, tone of voice, and what we wear. Here are 2 separate interactions with the same intentions but communicated differently. In this office setting, the manager comes in unannounced, multitasking. With no eye contact and closed posture, she states, "Remember the presentation tomorrow." She doesn't mention date or time. The employee was not actively listening. Attention was shared between the computer, boss, and ringing phone. When we bring it back to the 8 basics of communication, we can see that in the last video, the source was the manager, the message was to remember the presentation tomorrow, the channel was a personal verbal communication, the receiver was the employee, there was non-verbal feedback of guarded posture and the absence of eye contact, signaling the message was not received. Unfortunately, no questions were asked. The environment was the workplace. The context was a busy office setting with many looming priorities and a divided focus by an employee that was caught off guard. The interference was emotional. The employee was focused on something else and distracted by electronics. This time, before the manager enters, she sees the employee is busy on her computer and cell phone. She knocks on the door, enters the office, and waits for eye contact before speaking with an open posture and a smile. The manager speaks politely and provides information for the date and time of the presentation tomorrow. She also asks a question to draw out more information from the employee. The employee uses hand gestures to bring focus to the computer screen. Once the problem is solved, they share in laughter and appreciation together. And that concludes the presentation of the 8 essential components of communication. Hopefully you learned something about how to improve your communication in the workplace.